We all want to be seen in our best light, kind, loving, successful, in control. But what happens to the parts of us that don't fit that image? The parts that feel too messy, too angry, too insecure, too needy? We push them down, we hide them, we disown them. But here's the truth, those parts don't disappear. They become the shadow. The shadow is everything we've rejected, suppressed, or denied about ourselves. It's the part of the psyche that holds the traits we were told were unacceptable, unattractive, or too much. Carl Jung, who first coined the term shadow, said this: "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Let's talk about what the shadow really is, how it shows up, and most importantly, how to work with it in a way that leads to true inner freedom. Your shadow is not evil. It's not something to be feared or eliminated. It's simply the parts of you you've been conditioned to reject. It can include things like jealousy, rage, selfishness, neediness, vulnerability, pride, laziness, even your sensuality or ambition. But the shadow isn't only made of dark traits. Sometimes it includes your light, your power, confidence, voice, or creativity, especially if you were shamed for those traits in childhood. Imagine a child who's naturally assertive and outspoken but was told she's too bossy or too loud. She might suppress that power to stay accepted. Now, as an adult, she struggles to speak up, not because she can't, but because her power lives in the shadow. The shadow doesn't stay hidden forever, it leaks out, usually unconsciously. Here's how. You project it onto others. You judge people for traits you secretly fear in yourself. You say, "She's so arrogant," when deep down you wish you had more confidence. You sabotage yourself, you procrastinate, ghost people, or push away love, and you don't know why. You're triggered easily. You overreact to things that touch an old wound or remind you of something unresolved. You wear masks, you become the pleaser, the achiever, the fixer, all while feeling disconnected from your real self. You feel stuck in repeating patterns, in relationships, work, or your self-worth. This is the shadow at work, not to harm you, but to get your attention. It's not trying to destroy your life, it's trying to show you where you're split inside. The shadow is born in childhood, often in very subtle ways. As children, we absorb what's acceptable and unacceptable from our caregivers, society, culture, and religion. If crying got you punished, you learn to suppress emotion. If being playful got you mocked, you learn to stay serious. If success brought jealousy or shame, you learn to dim your light. So the shadow is not a personal flaw, it's a coping mechanism, a form of self-protection. But what protected you then might be limiting you now. So how do you work with the shadow? Shadow work is the process of bringing those hidden parts of you into the light, with compassion, not judgment. It's about reintegrating what was once disowned so you can become more whole. Here are powerful steps to start this process. Step 1, practice radical self-honesty. Begin by noticing your emotional triggers. Where do you overreact? What kind of people annoy you, intimidate you, or spark envy in you? Ask yourself, what part of me am I seeing in them that I haven't accepted in myself? Where am I pretending to be someone I'm not? What am I afraid people would think if they really knew me? This isn't about shame, it's about truth. You can't heal what you're still pretending doesn't exist. Step 2, embrace the mirror, use projections wisely. Projection is when you attribute your shadow onto others. For example, calling someone manipulative when you secretly manipulate through guilt. Labeling someone lazy while ignoring your own burnout and need for rest. Next time you're deeply triggered by someone, ask, what is this person reflecting back to me? This doesn't excuse harmful behavior in others, but it does help you take your power back by exploring your inner world. Step 3, create safe space for your shadow. Your shadow doesn't need punishment, it needs presence. Start journaling your raw, unfiltered thoughts without censoring yourself. Let your inner child speak. Let your angry, sad, insecure parts be heard. You can say, I feel jealous. I hate feeling needy, but I am. I want to be seen. Giving your shadow space to exist is what begins to dissolve its power over you. You stop running from yourself and start becoming your own safe space. Step 4. Reclaim the gold in the shadow. Remember, the shadow doesn't just hold pain, it holds power. Within your shame lives your sensitivity. Within your rage lives your boundaries. Within your jealousy lives your desire. Within your judgment lives your values. Within your fear lives your brilliance. Ask what healthy expression is hiding behind this shadow trait. Instead of shaming your anger, learn to speak your truth. Instead of hiding your ambition, let yourself shine. Instead of suppressing your emotions, learn to feel and process them safely. This is integration. This is where wholeness begins. Step 5. Practice inner child work. The shadow often protects the inner child, the part of you that was hurt, silenced, or abandoned. Connect with them, talk to them, let them know they are safe now. Ask, what did I need to hear back then that I never heard? What can I give myself now that I was denied as a child? As you hold space for your inner child, your shadow begins to relax. It no longer has to guard the pain. You're now the loving adult that younger you needed. Step 6. Seek support and guidance. Shadow work can be deep and emotional. You don't have to do it all alone. A skilled therapist, coach, or even a safe spiritual practice can support your integration journey. It's okay to ask for help. It's brave to be witnessed. The gift of shadow work. Shadow work is not a quick fix. It's a path, a spiral. You don't just heal and move on. You deepen layer by layer. Each trigger becomes an invitation. Each pattern becomes a teacher. Each uncomfortable emotion becomes a doorway back to your power. And here's the beauty. The more you own your shadow, the more freedom you feel. You stop being ruled by unconscious patterns. You stop needing external validation. You stop fearing your feelings. And you begin to trust yourself more deeply than ever before. In the end, shadow work isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. It's about learning to say, all of me is welcome. Even the parts I once rejected have a place at the table. You become more real, more grounded, more powerful, not because you've eliminated your darkness, but because you've learned to hold it with light. And that's what true